I don't have Xbox Live. This has S-Gibbs written all over it, dude. All right, guys, Team of the Week 13 is here. It's led by David Johnson. You also see Jordy Nelson. We're going to talk about David Johnson. Is he the best back available right now, or is he missing one crucial thing that is going to hold him back? We'll talk about that. But we'll run real quick through it. Starting with Anthony Hitchens, a middle linebacker with 83 speed. There's already, I think, 2 other middle linebackers in this set. This guy has 74 zone, doesn't have extraordinary hit power, doesn't have extraordinary block shed, unless he's not the guy. Next up, Brandon LaFell with 86 speed. Hard pass. He doesn't do anything tremendous. Skip him. Go to the 87 Team Heroes. Akeem Hicks, 84 left end with 89 power move. There's a lot better values than this guy out there, including a lot of the Team Heroes from last month. You're still there. Ladarius Green, I love my calendar girl, Ladarius Green. 88 speed, tight end. He's up to 84 route running. This is a guy who's always been super raw but super fast. Now he's starting to get the route running a little bit of respect. He's up to 90 spec catch with 6'6" frame. Now he doesn't have to catch in traffic, but overall for the seam, for throws downfield, I think this Ladarius Green, I use him in my salary cap team on PS4. Zan said he can outrun those hook zones deep down the middle of the field. This is a guy that's probably going to be on every salary cap team if you play that style of offense. He obviously is not a run blocker, but that's okay. He's not bad. He's 70-70. That could be worse. Is Joe Flacco elite? According to Ultimate Team, yes. According to America, the jury is still out. OS Millennium said that he wants to start Joe Flacco on his team, and I've got good news for him. This Joe Flacco won't cost you much because he's not at 90 in short or medium. His deep's not all that great. He's been dogged on deep accuracy. I will say they have crushed Joe Flacco on deep accuracy, in my opinion, for many, many years. He is up to 84. But yeah, this isn't an elite mud item in any way. It's an elite throw power mud item, but it's a very good 87. I'll admit it's a very good 87, but Matthew Stafford is still the guy if you want a big arm. I would go with. So Big Joe right there, he's probably not going to cost you that much, OS Millennium. That is the bright side right there. Or 2 Ravens, pick up one. He's another middle linebacker with 84 speed. He's better than the last guy. His zone's at 79, his hit power's at 87. I would say if once we get to Perfect, we'll talk a little bit about Orr with 87 block shed, but he's not like a rush right out and buy like I would with Ladarius Green. Glover Quinn last year, probably the best item in Ultimate Team at free safety for like a good chunk of the seasons, different versions. 89 zone coverage, 87 speed. He has no hit power. This was an item at the start of the year that would have been very good with 87 play rec, but right now you need 88 speed minimum, 90 zone minimum, 90 play rec minimum to play free safety on Ultimate Team. You got to pass on the Quinn, although he just hasn't got the same amount of items as he did last year, so I would pass. Jordan Howard. Now, some people are saying that this is going to be the next, good value 44 cap back, 89 speed, 92 trucking, 93 carry. That is awesome that he has that high of a carry rating because he shouldn't drop that many fumbles for you. 68 route running is pretty good. And he doesn't have low agility even though he has the truck. So this back right here, 73K is a little pricey, but I think he'll come down quite a bit. But I think people are going to snatch him up. So I would look to the Howard if you need a guy. I think Jordy Nelson, unfortunately, is a pass. He hasn't had an item in a little bit of time. So Jordy just is still at 88 speed. He's at 93 route running, which is good, but to get to that next tier, I think it's 96 to really get those sharp, crisp slant routes that we've seen with guys like Antonio Brown. So unless you can get him to 96 and you got a plan for that, then he's just going to be a tall, slow receiver, 88 speed Mike Evans, Kelvin Benjamin, 91. So, sort by Mudhead, go lower, sort by specs, sort by catching traffic, put the filter at 90, and then look up the guys. He's a very solid overall guy, but he's just too slow at the start of the year to kind of make up for it, in my opinion. Next up is Vontaze Burfict. He only has 81 speed, but he just got an item, and anytime somebody gets items back to back, it's good for business. So he had 79 speed with his hero, and I like this hero, but I said 79 speed is a little bit low. So the Ore has a little bit lower block shed, a little bit lower zone coverage, but he's a little faster. But the Perfect, his price will come down. This is a guy with 90 play rec that I really like that he got to that threshold. 84 strength, 91 block shed, gonna stop the run. 93 pursuit, 87 power move if you wanted to rush him. I mean, you don't, but that's fine. Good hit power, 82 zone's good. This guy is going to be super rock solid in the middle. Yes, I wish he was faster. Yes, there's so many good middle linebackers that I'm going to pass. I'm just saying for a decent value, if you don't need a user MLB in the middle, I mean, at this point, though, you'd go get the Legend Singletary most likely, and he's probably less at this point, but I don't dislike Vontaze. Now, last guy, David Johnson, I teased you and I said there's something he doesn't have that makes him potentially a miss. And you might say, well, Farls, he has tackle battle, so that's not it. Farls, he has 92 speed, so that's not it. Is it the 89 agility? Nope, that's not it. So 90 carry, 90 truck, good, good. He's going to get the precision truck at the peak level. Still has 92 juke. Well, Farls, he's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Can he run routes? He can, indeed. But what he's missing, in my opinion, is fights for extra yards. David Johnson does not fight for extra yards. And I'm looking at Todd Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott, Football Outsiders, and Color Rush Todd Gurley next to him. So he started out at 800K. He's now down. But he only covers versus big hitters. He does not fight for extra yards. He thankfully does not drop open passes. But I don't know how big you guys are into traits, but people say that's a big one. And I'm not willing to overlook it. I'm going to test him out and see what he does. Now, what's the good? Well, the good is on the left side here, David Johnson has 92 speed. He's the fastest. He's tied with Ezekiel Elliott, who is very, very fast. He's got 2 better strength than Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke is the guy you want with Energizer, chemistry, so he gets a stamina boost if you hit a move, who is an elusive style back. His elusiveness is at 90. And so if you like elusive moves, he's your guy. Todd Gurley has both elusive and trucking, which is absurd. Johnson has the truck. He's not the elusive type, although he's still pretty high in elusive moves. He has a stiff arm that's going to be precision at the highest level, juke at the highest level. Both all are at 90 carry. He can probably catch the best out of anyone with catching traffic, spec, and then he has 80 route running is awesome. So Ezekiel Elliott is the best of the bunch if you are looking for an elusive style back. David Johnson is the best if you want a trucking style back, although he doesn't fall forward, so we have to see how that affects him. And then lastly, Todd Gurley was 400K the last time I checked. He's already down a little bit. If Todd Gurley were to get another team of the week, if he actually could just put together one good game and get a battle-ready Todd Gurley that builds off this color rush, easily probably the best back in the game. But the David Johnson, to me, yes, he probably is the best back in the game. We have to check fights for extra yards, and that's pretty much it. With 92 speed, that's fantastic. Zeke gives you more agility and more elusiveness. So I'm really excited to test out David Johnson. Now, his price. He was at 800. This is not the Todd Gurley stayed at 400K, so nobody really has him and nobody's really used him. And you can't pay 400K for Todd Gurley. But if the David Johnson's going to sit up at 500K, I don't think he's a 500K back. I don't think the meta in Madden, where you see Buck Allen fall forward all day long and Darius Jackson Bronze fall forward all day long, you should be you can't spend more than 100K on a back unless you just have the coins and you're really looking for the best backs possible. So, it's tough to get these guys to pay more than 200K for a halfback just because there's not a lot of separation. Like Ricky Williams is going to do the job for 150. So I would just say go Ricky Williams unless you really, 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 really want one of these backs, in which case I would hope Todd Gurley gets another item. I would try and get David Johnson. He's probably going to come down in price. You can't pay this much. You can't go over 250. even with Battle Ready, 300. But he does have Battle Ready, which is the best chemistry in the game, I believe, for trucking backs. And hopefully it helps him fall forward, even though he doesn't have the trait. Real quick look at Riddick from the Lions here. He's an 88 team hero, just because somebody in the chat mentioned it. He's got 88 speed with 93 agility, little LaShawn McCoy level agility, with 86 route running, catching out of the backfield, and 90 juke and 90 elusive. So a pretty nice team hero right here. If you don't want to go with the Bears back we just talked about, Howard, you could sneak this Riddick in, and you should be able to make him for a pretty inexpensive amount. Obviously, Derrick Henry, somebody in the chat asked, I assumed everybody knew about Derrick Henry, and he would fall forward, and he's battle ready, and he's probably the best budget back in the game. I think Ricky's maybe slightly better, although I think you're picking apples to apples at that point. You're not that far off at that point. It's just, yeah, Derrick Henry is not, for however much he cost, he's not 10 times. David Johnson's not 10 times better, right? Even though he can catch out of the backfield, kind of important. He can catch out of the backfield. That's huge. That's pretty huge. So, guys, we're gonna lock into head-to-head seasons right now. If you have specific Team of the Week 13 item questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. Remember, we're live right now on twitch.tv/Madden Tips. We do it every Monday. We break down the Team of the Weeks. I don't tweet the stream out, though, so you got to go over there and follow the channel. But the crew that rolls in, they roll in deep. Zach Brown or Levante David. I would probably say Zach Brown band, although I've usually liked Levante David's. We'll check on that coming up. So make sure you follow the channel here, follow us on Twitch, and we will gonna go play games, which won't be on YouTube, so head on over to Twitch sometime and lock up. We're gonna go get a Super Bowl in seasons. Probably, or die trying. That's what they say in the movies.